Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're looking at the new AddiesDive AD2112 or 2113, depending on the color you get. This watch was sent to me for free by the AddiesDive store. They also have a new Amazon shop, so go check them out on Amazon as well. You can get this delivered to your door in 2 days for $180. I will be leaving a link to both watchdives.com as well as their Amazon link for this watch, so yeah, go check them out. The watch comes in a few different configurations. They have black, they have blue, they've got Mercedes 369 dials, they've got leather straps, they've got stainless steel bracelets. So yeah, go check them out. There's plenty to choose from, and you're bound to find one that you like. So what do you get for the money? You get a full 316L stainless steel case. You get a screw down crown, a screw down case back. You get 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, stainless steel bracelet with one of the coolest features on a stainless steel bracelet that I've seen yet. We'll talk about that a little later. And then it is all powered by the trusty Seiko NH38 automatic movement. So it's a really nice package. It looks cool. It's one of those nice go anywhere, do anything watches. And yeah, I mean, it's a really nice package. But is it perfect? No, of course not. Nothing's perfect. But is it worth the money? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So I say we get right into the review. But before we do a wrist check today, wearing the Pagani Design PD1717. This has been updated to version 2 now, so go check out my review here. It's got the longer hands, so yeah, pretty nice watch though. So first things first, as always, we get right into the dimensions. 38.8 on the diameter, 13.0 on the thickness, and that's to that top hat sapphire. Got 20 millimeter lug width. And the overall lug to lug is 47.9 millimeters. So it's a really good set of dimensions. I think it's one of those sizes that is going to fit a lot of people. And yeah, I think it looks great. You do have just a little tiny bit of curve down to the lugs here, but overall pretty nice. And the fact that it's female end links means that it's going to wear that 48 millimeter lug to lug. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much a sweet spot for a lot of wrists. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw this on the wrist. Here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, I mean, it wears great. Yeah, I didn't expect it to wear bad at all. Here's down the wrist shot. You can see it is a little flat, but still fits pretty good. I do like the way it looks. You got nice shine off that bezel, nice shine off the crystals, but still very clear. Here we are in some direct sunlight, and you can see the AR crystal doing its job. Still very legible. You got that gloss black dial. I think it looks really good. So you do get some weird reflections here and there, but I think for the most part it is very legible, and I think it looks really good. Feels pretty balanced on the wrist, and yeah, looks good. I'm going to go throw it on some straps and we'll get back to the review. And here we are on a dark brown leather strap from Riche, and yeah, this thing looks pretty good. Very comfortable strap. I think the dark brown goes well with the black. Can't really go wrong with any color on this watch in my opinion. You know, it's a black, you know, go anywhere, do anything watch, and it's going to look good on anything. So I'm going to go throw it on some more though. Here we are on another Riche watch band. This is a black rubber strap. I think this one looks great, very comfortable, and yeah, black on black, it's never going to look bad. So yeah, it does look really good. What do you guys think? And here we are on a kind of Marine National style strap. This is from Cheapest NATO Straps. And I think it looks pretty good. It's an olive drab with the white stripe. Looks really good. Very comfortable as usual. And even with the layer under it, still wears pretty good. You can see it sitting up a little high on the left side there, but otherwise I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Go throw it on one more. We'll get back to it. And lastly, here we are on a tan NATO strap. 2 layers underneath the watch there. Still wears really good. Very comfortable. Love this look. Yeah, I mean, this case is pretty nice actually. It does set up a little high, as you can see there with the 2 layers underneath it, but for the most part it's perfectly fine, and yeah, looks really good. What do you guys think? Which one was your favorite? Yeah, I kind of like this one. Alright, let's go back inside and we'll get back to this review. Okay, so let's talk about the case finishing. So case finishing on this is pretty typical for a watch of this style. So you have a vertical rushing on the tops of the lugs here. You've got polished on the sides. You've got a polished bezel, as you can see there. And I think the finishing is done actually pretty good. You can see here the brushing, it's all very linear. You don't have any like crossing of the brush lines. The polishing, again, is done really well. You know, we talk about those peaks and valleys that you see with poor polishing jobs, and I see none on this, so really happy with the polishing on it. Transitions between the two surfaces, again, really nicely done, nice and crisp, very nicely done. The bottom edge here seems to be rounded off just a little bit, so it's never been uncomfortable on wrist. You do have a screw down crown here with the AddiesDive logo. Looks pretty good. Crown is fully polished stainless steel. It is pretty small. That's really one of my only complaints about the crown, is that it's pretty small. Looking at the case back, you have the AddiesDive logo. Everything is done really nicely. Circular brushing, just your typical notches for a tool to get in there. Yeah, really happy with the case back. It does protrude a little bit there, but not too bad. And then the bottom of the case is circular brushed, as you can see. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the case finishing on this thing and the kind of the fit and the finish of it. Really happy with it. It's, I'd say, pretty close to St. Martin level. So yeah, there's not much to complain about when it comes to the case finishing on this. So this is listed as a sapphire crystal, so we'll test that real quick. You can see positive for sapphire. So the crystal on this is sapphire, and it's a really nice sapphire crystal. You got lots of AR coating. It's clear AR, so you don't get that blue tinge to it. And I mean, you need the AR on something like this with a glossy dial. And yeah, I mean, this does a really good job of cutting down reflections. You can see at extreme angles, you don't get any distortion or anything like that. So it's a nice, crisp, clean dial. Right on the edges, you do get distortion because it is a top hat style. So there you can see how much it sits up above the bezel there, and I think it looks really good. I mean, they did an excellent job with this crystal. Very happy with it, very clear, and yeah, I think it looks really good. So let's talk about the dial on this thing. So like I mentioned earlier, it does come in a couple different dial colors. You got blue and black, and then you've got a 369 Explorer style, and then you've got this black bay style. And yeah, I think they all look pretty good. This one here, the black version, is a glossy black dial. It is just inky black, looks really, really good. I mean, it's super clean too. Just look at that. The applied indices are applied nice and straight. I see no imbalance there. The handset on this, again, really nicely done, very nicely polished. They're pretty simple. It's flat. There's no faceting or anything like that. But they are nice and big and bold and long enough. And everything looks pretty good. You got a really big AddiesDive logo there at the 12 o'clock position, automatic 100 at 6 o'clock. And then you've got a simple printed minute track around the outside. If anything, I think the proportions are just a little bit off on this. That AddiesDive logo is, in my opinion, too big. And then the indices are too small and the hands are too big. So I think if they increase the indice size, decrease the hand size, decrease the logo size, it would look a lot better. As it is though, it really doesn't look bad at all. It's nice and easy to read because of those big hands. You get really crisp coloring with the white against the black, and it all looks really, really good. Even the finishing on the indices, pretty high standard in my opinion. I mean, just look at that. It definitely a step above some of the older AddiesDives that I've had and steel dives that I've had. Very happy with the indices on this thing. Really nicely done. Same with the hands. I mean, they're done really well. And then the hands and the dial are all filled with BGW9 Lume. So I'm going to pop up a Lume shot right now. And here you can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. And it holds its own. It's really strong BGW9 Lume. Pretty evenly applied. I think the 12, 3, 6, and 9 indices didn't quite get as much as the circular indices, but it's still really good. It lasts all night long. I have no problems reading it. Very happy with the Lume on this. So let's talk about the movement. So like I mentioned earlier, this is running the Seiko NH38. It is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown, and it's a little small. I'm gonna say that it's a little small. They could use it to be a little bit bigger, but the action of it, I think the grip of it is fine. The threading action, nice and smooth. Get a decent pop out of the crown there. You pull it out to the first position here, and that hacks the movement. There's no ghost date position, which is awesome to see. I love that. Yeah, I've got no real issues with it. It's the NH38. It's 40 hours of power reserve, 21,600 beats per hour, so 6 ticks of the second hand every second. It hacks, it hand winds. Yeah, I've got nothing bad to complain about. It's a reliable movement. It's an affordable movement. You can find replacement parts for it. You can yeah, I mean, it's a modder's dream, and yeah, really happy with the movement on this thing. Depressing the crown, see it starts up the second hand again, and then again, simple screw down action, really nice and smooth, no problems with it at all. Okay, so let's talk about the bracelet. So the bracelet is a big talking point. There's a really cool feature, which I'm just going to jump right in and show you guys real quick. So sizing this thing, one of the easiest things I've ever done. So as you can see here, there's no pins or anything like that, no screws, and yeah, it's just a very simple, clean design on the outside, which is nice to see, and that's a result of the sizing system. So if you look on the back here, you'll see some arrows here. So these links here are all removable. So all you do to remove it is you pull the link out, as you can see there, and then twist it. So there you go, you can see it there. Spring loaded. So you can see it here again. Hopefully I can show it to you guys. There you go. So it's spring loaded, really nice and easy, lots of resistance to it. And then you can just pop it off. I mean, it's so simple. And then you just do that to the next one here, and you can take a link out. So it literally took me about 30 seconds to remove one link from each side of the clasp. Yeah, I mean, it's super simple. I don't see any drawbacks to it. You do have a nice clean side profile to the bracelet, which is nice. All the links, very smooth. They don't hang up on each other or anything like that. I haven't had any problems with this thing coming apart or anything like that. So really a cool sizing system. If you're kind of afraid of getting a watch with friction pins or a watch with the screws, you just don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go to a store and get this thing sized. And I mean, it just works super simple, super simple. Anyone could do it as long as they understand how it's done. So hopefully that just helped you out. But let's get talking about this bracelet. So you've got solid end links, as you can see there. They're female pivot end links, which is nice to see. They fit the lines of the case really nicely. Very happy with that. They're in there really solid. I don't feel any wobble or anything like that on either one of these. Really nice, very fluid. The bracelet tapers from 20 down to 16 at the clasp. Again, solid links, solid end links. You got brushing on the top surface here, nicely brushed. Polished on the sides, again, nicely done. I think the bottom edge of this has been honed down a little bit, so it's a pretty comfortable bracelet. And yeah, overall, a very nice bracelet. You get a little bit of flex here, which is what you want and what you expect in a bracelet like this. Very happy with it, and I do really like the bracelet. What don't I like about the bracelet? The clasp. This clasp is, I gotta say, it is one of the worst clasps I've handled. And that's yeah, that's not good. On a watch of this caliber, it deserves a really nice clasp, and this is not a nice clasp. So it's just a simple pressed clasp. You don't have any branding on it at all. Flip lock, as you can see here. This part here is pretty loose. It wobbles, it makes noise, it's annoying. You got two pushers here, so it is fairly secure. It's never come undone on me or anything like that. You have simple, just pressed inner shell here. You do have 3 micro adjusts, which is nice to see. It's a fully brushed clasp, nicely rounded. It's not sharp or anything like that. It is low profile, and it is, you know, pretty flat and comfortable. I've had no problems with comfort on it, but just using this clasp is not a pleasant experience. Sometimes when you go to buckle it down, it doesn't quite want to latch. You can see here there's lots of slop in this, so I've had it multiple times where it's on wrist and I'm trying to put it down and it's just off a little bit. It won't latch, so I got to undo it, make sure it's all lined up, and then it'll latch fine. But again, even on wrist, I mean, this thing's wobbling around, and you know, people wonder why everyone wants a milled clasp. Well, it's because you can get the tolerances a lot tighter than just a pressed clasp. So yeah, I'm not happy with the clasp on this thing. And the bad part is that this clasp is in with friction pins. There you go. So getting a replacement clasp is not going to be easy to do. So yeah, I'm really hoping AddiesDive sees this and changes this out to a proper milled clasp. As it is, this is the most disappointing part of the watch. So other than that, though, I think the watch is really nice. So there you go, guys. That's the AddiesDive AD2112 Black Bay or Explorer Homage. Overall, I am really impressed with this watch. It's got a really cool sizing system. You got great lume, great finishing on the dial, beautiful crystal, really nice finishing on the case. The only real letdown is this clasp. So if you can get past that and you are interested in purchasing this, head down to the links down below, Amazon or watchdives.com. Both places are great and they'll help you out. I just want to point out my Instagram account down below. That's a nice place to see this watch, see my other watches, see what's coming on the channel. And yeah, go check me out on Instagram. My link is down below. If you guys have any questions or comments on this thing, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it. What do you think of that sizing system? That's pretty cool, right? But yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.